Hey, how's it going, YouTube? How y'all doing today? I'm all the way over here at the tree line today, just taking a look at these animals. I got a tractor that I'm looking at tomorrow. It's a big old dually tractor. Today's Tuesday. Yep, I'll be looking at it tomorrow. I'm gonna go take a good look at this tractor. It's seems good enough for me to go take a look at, right? It's a 2-hour drive. If I'm willing to take the drive, it must be a halfway decent tractor from what I've been told. So the man who owns this tractor, it is a 50-year-old tractor. The man who owns this tractor, he told me that well, he showed me receipts. He had a new flywheel installed onto this tractor. He also had a new clutch installed onto this tractor. And then he had the starter rebuilt. So, yep, I mean, well, I'll have to go take a look at it. Yep, I'll have to go take a look at it. This tractor, well, this tractor, well, everything that I do is going to be a tremendous risk on me, because I will be leveraging for this equipment to produce this revenue, this cash flow. I'll be leveraging for equipment. So if any of this equipment breaks, I'm knee deep in some doo-doo. It's going to be very difficult for me to produce an income, because everything, I'll only have one. I'll have one tractor that's large enough to run a baler. I'll have one baler. I will have one of everything. So if anything breaks in a major fashion before I get to even make any sort of revenue on it, that is a huge problem. So I'm gonna need to go take a good look at this tractor. Well, I've actually found two tractors, but one of them has real low hours on it, but it doesn't have a front loader on it. The other one, the hours, I don't know, but the man worked on it. It also has a front loader on it. So man had it sent to a shop, and so yep, which may kind of be a bad sign, because if a man sent it to a shop and then sold it, who knows? He may be worried that it's gonna have problems, right? So I'll have to go take a good look at it myself. Hey! He chewing on a branch. Hey man, give me that back. Why you chewing on this, fella? Huh? Let me have that. Got all this grass right here, and he chewing on a big old branch. So yep, I got a tractor that I'm gonna go look at. That'll be tomorrow. I got to get something. Well, okay, so I'm starting to put so here's one thing that I really was like, oh well, I can so this tractor, it's 150 horsepower, and if I'm looking at 150 horsepower tractors, if that's what I'm looking at, with the tractor at 150 horsepower, I could actually pull like a 10-12 foot disc with zero issue. I can pull big. I can pull very large tilling equipment. And so well, okay, so the thing about that is that I may actually be able to financially step away from spraying herbicide. Because my whole thing about herbicide was that I could put it on my fertilizer. Then when I threw fertilizer, I could just put herbicide on this field as well, which made my life extremely easy. And when I have a 35 horsepower tractor, for me to herbicide an entire field, it would only take but a few hours. Whereas if I tried to disc an entire field like this several times, 2-3 times, to get it real well, to get it disked properly enough for planting, That would take me a long time. Oh man, I got some animal bones over here. And the few animals that I had die over this last year, I just left their bodies back here for the animals for the wildlife to eat, to have at it. So yeah, they drug the bones over here. So, but yeah, okay. So my whole big thing about my big reason for herbiciding is because herbicide, it costs $10-12 an acre, and I'm able to herbicide just when I fertilize. When I fertilize, I'm able to herbicide at the same time. So it was a huge convenience thing for me, as well as it made financial sense. But if I have a 150 horsepower tractor, I could actually disc everything as fast as I could herbicide everything, just because I could pull such a large disc. I could pull a real wide cultivator, a real wide disc, with a 150 horsepower tractor. On a 35 horsepower tractor, if I pulled the disc like that, it would break the tractor, or the tractor would start spinning. It wouldn't move. The tractor wouldn't be able to move because there would just be so much weight behind it, trying to pull so much dirt, that it just wouldn't be able to move. And so I may be able to step away from herbiciding. Financially, it would make sense. I would have to invest in a big plow, but these large plows, they're a few $1,000s used. I can buy a real big chisel plow for cheap. It ain't gonna cost much to buy a real large chisel plow. And so well, okay, so in terms of planting, I have to it's either I herbicide or I till. Because if with zero herbicide, with zero tilling, the weeds will just come in so thick. I mean, look at these weeds. There will just be weeds everywhere. Like weeds just everywhere that just come in. And when they get to full size, they'll crowd out the crop that I'm trying to grow. So either I till or I herbicide. And if I got to choose my personal preference, instead of just doing what made the most sense, if I was able to choose, I would choose to till before I choose to herbicide. Because herbicide, okay, so my whole big thing is that if I were to really look at this soil, right, if I were to take up a scoop of soil, there's a lot of fungi in soil. I know that okay, so if I were to take up a scoop of soil, like a big old, like let's say I took up a cubic foot of soil, there would be an insurmountable amount of fungi as well as bacteria in that soil. And fungi, like webs of fungi, like almost like spider webs, but it'd be a huge amount of fungi in the soil, a tremendous amount of fungi in the soil. And that fungi does a lot for holding soil together, from keeping that soil from falling apart, essentially. So, well, is it proven? Who knows? I don't know, but I would think that herbicide does something bad to that fungi. That's just what I would think. I don't know if that's true or if it's a false claim. I just personally believe that herbicide would do something to mess with that fungi. That's what I believe. And in the earth's soil, there is an insurmountable amount of fungi, as well as an insurmountable amount of bacteria. Some good, some bad, or good, bad. That's all on perspective. But there is an insurmountable amount of that stuff, that microbial life. And so if I fungicide, if I herbicide, who knows what it's doing to that fungi. And so I would rather choose to till than herbicide. As of right now, though, it just made more sense for me to herbicide than it did to to till, because tilling it actually does a lot to improve the quality of the soil. Like soil gets compacted over time, so it becomes very difficult to push roots through that soil. Fungi also they intake oxygen then essentially breathe out carbon dioxide, a lot like people. Where plants, they will take in carbon dioxide, then excrete oxygen. And so putting a good bit of reducing that compaction, putting air in the soil, will actually do a lot for improving soil health, for improving soil quality as well. As long as it's only done, if it's done constantly, that's a different story. Tilling a soil constantly would also, just breaking those microbial bodies up like that constantly would probably be a bad idea. But tilling soil once a year, it ain't gonna damage soil forever. Like, it ain't gonna turn into like this thing where I've just like eradicated my soil. Reducing compaction in soil is actually kind of a good thing too. The plants will grow better. If the plants grow better, the fungi are probably growing better too. And so, it's not like I till the soil and the fungi is gone forever. That's not how it works. The fungi will regrow. It'll respread and all sorts of good stuff. That oxygen will help it grow. And so, yep, I would rather till than herbicide. And with this new tractor, if I get a big old dually tractor, I could till this soil as fast as I herbicide it, which was something that I came to a realization of late last night, looking at these tractors, and then looking at old disc plows that are being sold. So that'd be kind of cool. I can plow, I can till instead of herbiciding, which I would feel better about. And I can also do it at a relatively equal financial cost. So, yep. And the thing about Sudan grass, okay, so Sudan grass, one cool thing about Sudan grass is that when done properly, Sudan grass will actually have Sudan grass, it grows like corn. It's a real large grass. So when I plant Sudan grass correctly, like let's say I till all this up, I get it real flat with a cultipacker, and then I till it, or then I drill it with Sudan grass, and I drill it properly. That Sudan grass will grow so large, it grows like corn. It'll grow so large, it'll grow so just so massive that it will actually put too much shade on the ground. And so the weeds will just naturally just be unable to grow. And so yep, these Sudan grass rarely ever need a herbicide when planted properly. So that's one huge benefit of growing Sudan grass as well. Instead of something like ryegrass, like this grass here, it's planted real thick. There's still weeds coming up all around it. Granted that it was broadcasted on a bumpy field, so there are a lot of spots where there are just bare soil all over. So but Sudan grass, well, this there would have been less weed pressure on this field if this had been drilled properly. But Sudan grass is just known for shading out, crowding out weeds. It's very good at it. So I won't need the herbicide when I plant Sudan grass. At least that's the big goal. That's one of the big goals for when I'm thinking about planting density, is to plant it dense enough so that the stems are fine or are thin. It produces enough crowding pressure to block out weeds, but there's also enough resources for that grass to grow properly, because if there's more grass density on a field, that grass will need more water. That Sudan grass will need more water. It'll need more fertilizer. It'll need more minerals, etc., etc., etc. So it'll need more air. Plants to get their carbon, to build their physical structure from gas in the air. So it'll need more air movement through the plants. So all sorts of stuff. But yep, those are just a few things to consider when planting Sudan grass. I'll be planting here pretty soon. But that's it for me today, YouTube. Y'all have a good one.